Good morning, friends. This is beautiful. Welcome to Noanet, It's in Massachusetts. I'm not going to pronounce it right no matter what, but welcome to this beautiful park here in Dover, Massachusetts. It's late fall today. Beautiful, cool day. Wind is blowing pretty good. Not too terrible, but you definitely feel it. And the leaves have all fallen off the trees today. So they're scattered all over the ground, which doesn't bother me at all. If you watch my channel at all or see some of my photography, you'll know I love close-ups of leaf litter, which could play perfectly into a little experiment I have planned for today. You'll have to stick around, see what that experiment is, and I'll have to see if I find the appropriate subject to conduct this experiment on. But as per usual, I've just picked a pretty spot on a map and run off to it, and I just intend to explore today, see what I can find, and just enjoy it. Take it in, a little moment away from the concrete jungle, spend some time with some of my best friends. Trees, love trees. Let's go see what we can find. It's a really pretty day. All right, friends, I think I've finally found an image today. About halfway through this 3-mile loop trail. I'm here between two ponds, Upper Mill Pond and Lower Mill Pond, I believe they're called. But I've got this beautiful little twig of a tree kind of growing along the Lower Mill Pond here, and this beautiful dark water in the background. I am shooting this at an ISO 500. F16, 1/16 of a second. I'm about 2 stops underexposed because I just want that water to just go really, really dark. I just want this to be about these glowing golden leaves. So I'm kind of waiting for the sun to pop out a little bit, and I'm super waiting for the wind to die down. So these leaves are at least a little bit still. That 1/60 of a second is giving me a fighting chance, but I do need them to be relatively still to capture this image. Hello, birdski, what's up? I'll show you here what we're looking at the back of the camera. Here you can see my great, beautiful little leaves arching in from the bottom right-hand side of my frame, just coming in, arching up. Beautiful little water, just the hint of those reflections of the trees behind it. And there's a couple of other little leaves just floating around out here. There were some trailing through here earlier that I might like, but shooting this underexposed a little bit to really just kind of more pop those leaves behind, make that water go a little bit dark. Shooting this, yeah, about one and 1/3 stop underexposed. Wind died down, take that shot. It's really pretty, I really do like it. First shot of the day. And it's a beautiful, beautiful day. And windy. Here come the wind. Friends, found another shot on the way up to Noanet Peak. We are ascending the mountain, as it were, this 450-foot hill. It's a hill, but not far behind me I think is the peak. But on the way up, found this beautiful little fern growing out of the base of this tree right here, and it's got one leaf that has just curled and turned brown, so it's this beautiful golden color, and is a really nice contrast to all the dark green fern leaves around it. So that's the shot, just kind of shooting down on my little plant here, really filling the frame with everything. 4x5 crop because I think it's really doing some justice to this little fella. Not much going on the far right or the far left. In fact, the fern starts to fall off, and we just kind of get some cluttered forest floor in the background, which isn't helping us out at all. So this shot, real simple, shooting this at an ISO 320, f16, 1/15 of a second. Again, just waiting for this wind to die down and grab this shot when it's still. 2-second timer, focused on my near leaf. That f16 is letting everything else in the shot be acceptably sharp on this one. I don't care if my background falls off a little bit. There's not a lot of detail back there anyway, and it's really all about this golden leaf right in the middle. The diffused light is really helping with this. It's just nice even light all over it, so that golden leaf is popping even more. Shooting with my 24-105 with my close-up filter on here, just so I could get in close and fill the frame with everything. And that's the shot. I'll show you here what we're looking at through the camera. And here it is. Here you can see this beautiful golden leaf, just this character and curled over, these imperfections in it that I really kind of like. And then just this beautiful lush green surrounding it. I think it's just a nice woodland, foresty contrast shot. Just woodland beauty, and I love it. Here we are at the peak of Noanet, the top of the hill on this loop trail. And it's beautiful up here. It's really, really gorgeous. It's the kind of thing, I might get my long lens out and see if we can pick some nice patterns out in the trees here behind me. But I feel like we need to give a little bit of a sit rep here today. Halfway through this hike, and I'm struggling. I'm rushing, and I'm looking for something specific, and I don't even know what it is I'm looking for. So it's just kind of chaotic today, and I feel scattered. So I'm gonna take this moment at the halfway point to reset and refocus and just enjoy my time out here. Just do my normal thing, which is just walk around, look, explore, enjoy, and see what attracts my attention, and then see if there's an image to be made with it. And if there's not, that's fine. And if there is, that's great, that's fantastic, that's why I'm here. But I'm also here to slow down and relax and enjoy it, and I'm not doing that. I'm just rushing around looking for a specific shot, and I don't even know what that specific shot is. That's the most ridiculous part. No idea what I'm looking for. I've never been here. I don't know what I'm going to find. So I need to just be open to my possibilities. And I feel like there's something here behind me. So let's see what I find. Here it is. We've reached an appropriate subject for my grand experiment today. And my grand experiment involves this, my Kase close-up filter. This is something I have been using a lot recently, and it's a great little filter. Throw it on the ends of my lenses. It increases my focal distance. It literally magnifies what's in the image. It's a magnifying glass I put on the end of my lens so I can get closer, focus closer. So that's what we're going to compare. We're going to compare this, my Kase close-up filter, with, oh golly, this, a 100mm macro lens. I recently purchased this lens used because I'm curious about this. I have used this thing enough and often enough that I have begun to wonder if a macro lens is really worth it to me, if it's worth the space and the weight and one more lens in my bag, or if I'm happy with my close-up filter. Most of the stuff I've done so far with this close-up filter I've been really, really happy with. I have a feeling that this is just going to be something completely different. I might be comparing apples to oranges here, but I was curious enough to try it. So we're going to try it today. I found this beautiful boulder, this huge boulder, and it is covered in these toad skin lichen all over the place. So I'm getting in and going to focus on the patterns and the spots of these lichen. I found one right here that's got this great little orange dot in the middle of it. So beautiful color contrast, orange dot, little white spot, and then speckled with all the spots, the black spots all over it, and you know, undulating. So we'll see about whether or not we need to focus stack with that, which is where the Nisi filter could win. With this lens, I can do the autofocus bracketing with my camera. This is a fully manual everything lens, autofocus or manual focus, manual aperture. So this will be, there's no auto anything with this guy, no focus bracketing, any of that. You just get it or you don't. So again, let's see what we get. I'm gonna set up on this shot first with the Nisi, the tried and true, the thing that I know. Set up on the shot, see what we get, and then we're gonna try this one. All right. Set up on our little toad skin lichen here with the Nisi filter, Nisi close-up filter on the 70 to 200 millimeter lens at 200 millimeters. This is filling the frame with this little toad skin lichen here, and I'm probably 7 or 8 inches off of the rock. It's as close as I could get. I am focused on the near part of this little lichen right now, and we are going to focus bracket this because I can with this setup. Fill in the whole frame, a little bit of those pine needles sticking into the frame a little bit, which I like, kind of gives a story of location, tells us where we are, tells us what this thing might be. I like this image, really, really simple. I like that little splash of orange color in the center of this lichen. That's the shot with the close-up. Now we're going to switch out, go to the dedicated macro lens, see what we think of that, see if that's better, worse, just different. I suspect it's going to be the just different, but let's see what we get. This is why I'm here. I'm curious about this. Let's see what we end up with. Here we are, swapped out to the Lao 100 millimeter. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a fully manual lens, so I have to focus it and I have to set my aperture, and because it's fully manual, the camera has no idea what that aperture is. It just says f00. It doesn't really matter. The advantage to the live view on this is what I'm seeing on the back of the camera is what is the exposure I'm getting. So I can compensate for that, but that tends to mean I'm going to probably creep up in my ISOs, but today, not the case. I have actually just slowed down my shutter speed a bit to 1/30th of a second, shooting this at an f8 ISO 400, approximately the same frame, and taking this shot. So now we're just going to compare these two and see what we think. They're very comparable, I think, and I'm going to be honest. I think I like this one better. I didn't expect that to be the case. I expected it to be an apples and oranges kind of a thing. I am a bit closer, probably a couple inches closer than I was, filling the frame a bit more. But here's the thing with this one, I can get even closer still and go really, really abstract, and I'm gonna probably do that for fun. But I seem to be capturing the full depth of this image with one shot at f8 on this guy, as opposed to probably 12 shots at, what was I shooting? I think f8 on that as well. So this might be my winner. It's gonna be heavier, it's gonna take more room in the bag, but I think I prefer the result. All right, we've got this great little shot here. This is just the most adorable little mushroom. I love it. Perfect shot for this macro lens. I'm down low, in close with this guy, focus on the top of that mushroom. I'm gonna try to pull a focus stack on this. I don't know how successful it's gonna be. The manual features of this lens are gonna be a little bit limiting, but this mushroom is incredible. Just tucked away in this little crevice of this rock, on top of this little patch of moss, and it's perfect round little head on it. Show you what we're looking at through this camera here. There it is. Look at this tiny little guy. He's adorable, right there. So little and perfect, and I love all the little green spiky mosses growing up in front of it. So much fun. Shooting this guy at a f4 ISO 100, 1/5 of a second. Really simple little shot. Really beautiful little mushroom, and I love it. Couldn't be happier. It's a perfect shot for this macro lens. Ooh, and my light is getting real nice right now. Shooting just a little bit underexposed, by about 1 2/3 of a stop. Just because they're getting a little bit of highlights on the top of that mushroom, so I want to take those out. I love it though. Right, I have a shot that I'm happy with. Now I'm going to try and focus stack it. All right, I think I'm going to be able to achieve this focus stack with 2 images. I focused one on the head of that mushroom, one on the stem of this mushroom. Background completely blurred out, and that's totally fine. There's nothing interesting going on there. This is all about this mushroom. I think this has got it. I love it. Oh man, that was such a great find. I came up here to explore this rock, and I found that itty bitty tiny little mushroom. Not maybe even an inch tall. Love it. Friends, we are almost back to the trailhead, just a little bit further that way, and we're back at the car. So I'm going to take this chance to call it a day, to thank you for coming along with me, and I hope you enjoyed this day. I certainly did end up enjoying my day, but I almost ruined it for myself there at the beginning. Just kind of focused in on trying to try out a new lens, compare it to an old piece of gear that I had, and I became fixated and focused on one thing to the exclusion of everything else, and just kind of forgetting why I'm out here, which is primarily to enjoy myself. I find a place on a map that looks interesting, and then I just go explore and look to see what I find and what is interesting to me. And today I almost blew past all of it, so I was really happy to take that moment in the middle of the day and just regroup, resettle, and remind myself why I'm here and what I'm doing, and the purpose of it, which is the enjoyment. Making some images that are fun and enjoyable for myself, and hopefully for you. Let me know in the comments down below which one of those 2 shots you liked of that frog skin, toad skin lichen, the macro lens or the close-up filter. Maybe you don't even care. Let me know what your favorite shot of the whole day is. I think I know what mine is. That little tiny mushroom at the end is probably my favorite. But it was a fantastic day. Really glad I took the moment to pause and reflect and think about what I'm doing out here. And I really want to thank you for coming along with me. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you would like to see more. Tell your friends, because the more the merrier. I really would like to see the channel grow. It's growing a little bit at a time, and I love every bit of it. So tell all your friends. And if you'd like to see some more of my work, head on over to toddhphoto.com. Over there you can see the images I've been taking throughout the years and the various places that I've gone. And while you're there, I'd love it if you signed up for my mailing list. I just mail out a little blog, a little story to go with a photo twice a month. And as a member of the mailing list, you are able to download that featured image free for 1 week before it's offered up for sale as a digital download on my website. And while you're there, if you'd like to get a little piece of art for yourself to hang up on your wall, I do have a small selection of fine art G clay prints offered up for sale there as well. There's a small selection of some of my personal favorites. Appreciate it if you stopped on by, took a look at any of it, all of it, and that's it for today. So from the Noanet Peak Trail here in Dover, Massachusetts, so long, and we'll see you next time.